To answer these quandaries and well as other more profound questions, let's welcome Bronx boy, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. The highest spot on Earth is not Mount Everest, your book says. It's something else. What is it?
First, it's true not because my book says it, but simply because it's true. Okay, let's want to clarify that.
All right.
No, I mean, Earth, to the astrophysicist, we don't really care much about sea level.
No.
If you want to be high, you're measuring your distance from the center of the Earth.
From the very center of the Earth.
Is that different from the center?
I'm trying to
Okay,
give it...
the very center of the Earth. I don't know how many centers you know of. Okay, the very center of the Earth.
The really very, very center
Yes.
of the Earth. Yeah.
So you want to find the farthest point from that center. And it turns out sea level at the equator is farther away from the center of the Earth than sea level near the poles. It has nothing to do with global warming and melting of the ice caps.
Why is that?
Because Earth, we know it spins once a day. Yes, thank you. 3 people know how long a day lasts here.
Good for row number 2. They're off to a great start.
So you spin, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out.
Yeah.
Gets wider in the middle. And so Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially, it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good word. It's like pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So it turns out the pear-shapedness is bigger than the height of Mount Everest above sea level.
How much higher is the tall mountain that you identify in this book, which name I forget, and probably you do too, in Peru, or is it Ecuador?
Ecuador.
Ecuador. How much higher, if you were on top of this mountain in Ecuador, how much higher than the Mount Everest would you be?
There's a 20,000-foot mountain in Ecuador, which is right, Ecuador is like near the equator, hence Ecuador.
Oh, you're just not giving up.
And that mountain is actually, the summit of that mountain is 1 1/3 miles higher away from Earth's center than the summit of Mount Everest.
Okay, question number 2.
But wait, but you got to know, let me just so you understand. We've been fed a lie our entire, I want to call it a lie. We've been fed.
It's a point of view thing, I think.
We've been fed Earth has been misrepresented to us by geologists. Because the globes that you buy, that you rub your fingers over and you feel the Himalayas and you feel the Rocky Mountains, no, okay? These mountains are puny compared to the size of the Earth. You would not know they were there. If you were truly that size, some big cosmic giant lumbering through space, coming upon the Earth, rubbing your hand on it, the depth of your, what do you call these things?
Your finger.
The fingerprint mark. The depth of that would be greater than the entire range of distance from the Marianas Trench in the bottom of the Pacific to the top of Mount Everest. Therefore, you would close your eyes, rub your finger, you would not know whether you are on ocean, valley, mountain, or hill.
Well, you might be wet or dry. You might be,
Well, by how much wet?
A little.
How? No.
Yes.
You wouldn't even notice it. You're not going to say, oh, I got to dry my hand. The depth of the ocean doesn't measure up to the depth of your fingerprint. That's my point. So we've been fed this misrepresentation of our own planet on the belief that, in fact, we have real surface features. But cosmically speaking, we're practically a perfect sphere.